Tony, what did you think of Hunter's catch at the wall there and then the heads-up play from Dean?
Yeah, I mean, Dean's, it's not like you can't be good if you're from Tennessee, but Dean's kind of always had a little extra savvy to him. I mean, in SoCal, you play so much, play so many times, and also the competition's really high. It's a hotbed for baseball. Unfortunately for our league, a lot of those kids are coming this way. But when I grew up, all those teams were the powerhouses in the country you had to worry about. But yeah, Hunter's catch itself was a game saver. That's the only way really to describe it. It was earlier in the game against North Carolina when he did what he did, but that game was real tight too. So you look back on it, and it was a game influencer, but I think that one was kind of more of a game saver. More than anything, it was fitting that he caught the last out.
How valuable is Hunter to a team like this that's got so many young guys and it's kind of been up and down the last month?
Yeah, I think you kind of hit the nail on the head. At this point, he's more valuable. Don't forget about the slide at home plate. And obviously, we're facing a pitcher where you want to have some kind of confidence going in, and we chase a pitch early, and then we ground it out, I think. So you want to get something, and even though Hunter was out trying to stretch it into playing hard like he does, trying to stretch single and a double, it still matters. So on the play, all that's on the field, all that play stuff is great, performance stuff, but the influence and kind of the calm and the leadership, and I think he started to direct traffic a little bit more too this time of year, which is needed. And it's also going to be a deal where no one is not going to respect anything that comes out of his mouth, and he's not a big yapper, so if he says something, you know it has value anyway.
I was going to ask about that, Tony, in terms of his leadership. Is that something naturally that he's had, or has he had to just really kind of change some things to kind of grow into that role?
No, I think he's had to grow into it a little bit. I think dating back to his high school days, including on the football field, he was a leader by how he competed. And I think the phrase leads by example is kind of overused and it's pretty vague. I think just the way he competed, everybody saw how you need to fight to try and win or trying to accomplish whatever goal is in front of you. And that's all he's really been here. As a matter of fact, he kind of had to rein it in. And that's how he was. But I mean, sometimes different circumstances call for you to adapt a little bit. And so I think he's had to come out of his shell a little bit and direct traffic. And then it takes two to tango. I think our guys, because there have been some ups and downs in the year, need to realize this is a pretty good resource right here. Not just to look to, but listen to. And so I think there's that two-way street. You saw some unselfish play on the field, but there's stuff behind the scenes too that I think our guys have been unselfish.
Tony, you had maybe some variation in the Friday night rule the last few years. What's it been about Liam that he's been able to lock that down this whole time, and how nice has it been to have a guy like that?
Yeah, it's nice. I mean, I really think it's a big credit to last year's team to have success the way they did. And I think Causey can pitch in the big leagues. I know the Kansas City Royals love him. Stom is one of my favorite of all time. Hopefully he doesn't hear this because then I'll get a text and then I got to deal with that. But you look at all the best teams in our league each year for the last 20 years, that's the deal. Is you got a guy that strikes fear into the other team, and we had two guys go at it tonight the way that it should be in our league. It's pretty special. But for us, it gives our players confidence. It gives our coaching staff a chance to kind of map out how we think or want the weekend to go. And then it influences every game all the way to Tuesday because you got a guy that can give you 100 pitches and set the tone for the weekend. But more than anything, I said it to the ESPN guys because they ask questions about our team. And whenever that guy gets plopped down in the middle of a pro locker room, whether it's the big leagues or they make him go through some steps, he is immediately going to make that locker room a more fun place and a better place because of his warrior mentality on the field and then off the field. I said Hunter's not a yapper. Liam is a yapper, for sure.
How impressive was that Maney at bat late and you fell behind 0-2, then hit the single lead field in?
Yeah, no, it was the key to us having a little bit of a margin where you could do some things with the bullpen and take a breath. And no lead is safe in this league. That's another reason why the 10-run rule is stupid. As a matter of fact, I think there's an example of that this year. But anyhow, you could see the calm with two strikes, whereas he was much more eager on the pitch before, and he's done that before. And I don't know that comes from maturity. It just comes from competitiveness. And he's been special on game ones. You can call them Fridays, but sometimes we play on Thursday. He is ready to rock and roll, and because we have a deep team, he doesn't always play on Tuesday. Maybe it's because he's chomping at the bit by the time game 1 rolls around. Maybe he likes the bright lights. I don't know, but that at-bat was great, but it's also, there's been indications of that in the past too.
What can you say about the Nushu at bat and what went into that decision? I know it didn't go his way, but 12 pitch, really good AB to pinch hit there for Jay.
Yeah, I mean, I've said it to the team, and I think I've alluded to it with you guys. I'm not trying to take pressure off me. I'm just being honest. With this team, there is not a slate this guy. There's not a right or wrong decision. I mean, we put in Ariel for defense, but who's to say we wouldn't have won the game by 2 runs tonight if he starts at shortstop? We have a good group of position players. So there is, unless a guy goes 4 for 4 with 4 grand slams, there's no right or wrong decision. It's just guys need to be unselfish and be prepared for their opportunity. And when it comes, Jay needs to dab up Nui, and Nui needs to go in there and do his thing, even though it was literally last minute. We tap him on the shoulder. Fortunately, the umpire gave him time to kind of get set up. And then that at-bat, when you're facing a kid like we were facing, that at-bat carries a lot of weight. We didn't get anything out of it on the stat sheet, but it was huge. It was incredibly impressive. It was something for the team to build off of, but something for Nui too. He keeps getting more and more SEC action, and he's already confident. I don't know if that can go any higher, but it's good for him and definitely good for our team.
What does it say about Liam that he's the draft prospect that he is, and didn't seem to have an issue with taking the ball on Sunday and not missing his Friday start? I know there's been guys that you've dealt with that haven't always been as willing to take the ball when they're asked to.
He don't care. He wants to compete. He does not care. And he's a good teammate. I know he's spent time at other schools. I kind of said it when we were in Oxford. I kind of get, getting on the guys and stuff like that, but there's no way anyone that came across him, in high school or anywhere else doesn't like the guy. And to your point, it's great that he was willing to take the ball in that situation. It would have been heartbreaking to have a poor weekend last weekend against Auburn, him not influence one of the games, because he really kind of didn't. Even I know he threw the 1/2 inning. But the bigger story that could really help younger kids if they follow our program is tonight was an easy cop-out to say, well, I didn't go through my routine. I didn't go through my usual deal. So tonight to me is the big story of it's not a guy that's looking to make an excuse or look for a reason to not perform his best, which I'm not knocking it because maybe I would have too. A lot of kids will use that as a cop-out. If I didn't get to go through all these routines, and kids are well coached now, those routines help you. But at the end of the day, when the umpire or the play ball kid says play ball, you hook it up. And I don't know that we have a better example in our clubhouse than a guy that will hook it up than Liam.
In a close, low-scoring game like this, how much does the crowd impact the team?
It's a one-run game, and we're playing at home. And there's been some weird games where just because of the rain or basketball or weird start times, maybe you could argue we didn't have a lightning bolt of energy to put us over the edge, or maybe our players didn't provide the energy for them to do that. But in a game like this, you can't write it down. I think the Seahawks say something, and other programs try and say this number, add a number to the guys you had out there. But it helped us win the game, period. And who's to say a guy makes a base running mistake because it's so loud and the crowd's going crazy? I mean, I know Hunter made a great catch, and Dean gets credit for spotting that deal. But it was an influence for sure.
Tony, what do you say about, like, this is the final SEC series here at Lindsey Nelson Stadium. What do you want your group to take away from this final series here to maybe catapult you guys back into your dominant wins?
Yeah, I mean, it's a serious series. It's a serious series. But, tonight's over with. Sunday can wait. And, heck, with the rain and start times and stuff like that, Sunday may never come. You don't know. So kind of really it's just about tomorrow. But I think about tonight, when we visited Liam, there was a ball conversation with the umpire. I was showing them the ball. Liam had blood all over that thing from his blister. And it's not like he had a big, somebody shivved him and he had a knife wound or anything, but it's just kind of representative of how the guy will compete. And I think our team needs to take note of that. Is, blood, sweat, tears, whatever it is, go out there and do that, and we'll let the scoreboard take care of itself.
Tony, the blister for Liam, I mean, that's something he's got to deal with week to week, but you kind of said it's something that might pop up in under 70 or 80 pitches. I mean, have you noticed anything the last couple of weeks?
No, I mean, just that it's something he's battled with. Him and Woody have, hooked up, and I think really managed the thing well. I think it truly was an issue for the first time mean, it's been something to manage, but I think it truly was an issue with the losing of the command of the hit by pitch, and then full credit, a big strong guy hits the ball as far as he did, but I don't know that he saw the best version of Liam there because of it. So, you know, maybe it's hard to take Liam out of the game no matter what the pitch count is or what the situation is. So, yeah, he'll have a full week to do everything he needs to do. I know I mentioned that earlier, as you can't use that as an excuse, but with the blister and everything else, that'll help. I guess not a full week. Thursday start next week. But you get the gist, hopefully.
So